you got going on? Hey, everybody, it's Miss B, Positively Miss B. It's Windows Day. That's right. It's 7 p.m. East Coast time on a Wednesday. We kind of sort of on time, but that's all right. With my pal here, Christopher Allen, Issues of Men. Hey, Chris.
Good. How you doing this evening, Miss B?
I'm doing good. We're going to have some fun tonight.
Everything is good. We're going to have some fun.
All right.
But before we have some fun, let me take this 10 seconds to share some information, something, wanted to do. So before we continue this evening, everyone, the viewers, I want to take a moment of silence to silence from my friend Todd Moody. He transitioned into his next phase of experience, and my condolences and prayers of strength and peace to his family and his friends, and he's in good hands. All right. He would want us to have fun, so let's have some fun.
All right, everybody. In case this is your first time joining us, this is Chris and Miss B, Storm Talk 365 Radio. We encourage you to talk to your storms in your life. I'm the CEO of both Storm Talk 365 Radio and Storm Radio 24/7, or Storm Radio 24/7 talks about arts, business, entertainment, and more. But tonight you're on Storm Talk 365 with author Christopher Allen, Issues of Men. You know, Chris, we've been going through this for a while, but a lot of people don't know who you are. Tell them a little bit about you before we get started.
I am an author of 3 books. Right now, the resume is building. There's a book coming out that in an anthology of the Corona Chronicles. It's coming out. I'm a part of 2 other books that are almost in completion. There's a EBO book, Humble Beginnings, coming out as well. It's another anthology. And have a children's book coming out. So I have some things moving forward and coming about. So I'm an author. I am a publisher, owner and CEO of Ascension Publishing. I'm an actor, model, a speaker, and overall good person. I'm here for y'all.
So, yes, he is. And he's the host of Issues of Men with Miss B.
Host of Issues of Men. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. What a pleasure it is. So, Chris, what are we going to talk about tonight?
This evening, Miss B, we're gonna talk about misnomers in relationships, part 2. We had a previous one. I did have fun with that. Crazy misnomers. So we're gonna go to the second part of this, and most of this evening, we're gonna talk about misnomers in relationships. So we can do some straight talk with the family. And for those who do not know what a misnomer is, it is a wrong name or term that is designated, assumed, perceived, or believed to be true, but is inaccurate or not necessarily true in reality. So we're going to get into that this evening. And Ms. B, what is a misnomer in your terms?
Boy, I ain't got no dictionary. Lord have mercy, misnomer. You being lied to, a disbelief, falsehood, misunderstanding. Am I close?
Very close.
Okay, thank you.
And all those things are going to be applied.
All right.
So, Ms. B, our first misnomer that I want to speak about tonight is you can talk about relationships, but because sex is a very big part, it's a huge, important part of most of our relationships. So we're going to start there. I'm going to talk about some intimacy first between a man and a woman. So because you're intimate with someone, right, it entitles you to everything that person has, and you're expected the red carpet treatment from that person. Passwords of cell phones, laptops, keys to the car. You can open a mail. They give you money, access to their home, their apartment, almost anything. And the list can go on. But do you believe it, agree with it, or not?
Wait a minute. Do I believe it, agree with it, or not?
or not.
You mean how people handle their relationships with each other, how much freedom they give?
It's just for some reason there's just people out there who think if they have an intimate relationship with somebody that you're supposed to roll the red carpet out for them. Like immediately, you're supposed to give. You're supposed to.
Okay, here's my take on that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm ready.
From a male perspective, the giving it is a choice. From the male perspective, what they expect from the woman is a choice.
Mm.
From a female perspective, unfortunately, once she gives you her body, she expects the world in return. So
Mm-hmm.
once you step over that line, you get what you get when she started expecting it. From a woman's point of view, once they give you their body, they
My
are going to,
body.
hey, oh yeah. Once they do the do, they're going to expect you to do the do.
Mm-hmm.
And that just comes with it. Very few women are creepers and don't want to be a keeper. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, when they get into bed with you, they got you. Even if they got other people,
I
I don't
got
care.
you.
And you owe me, dude. I let you tap that thing, so let me tap everything you got. Bank account, everything. Because we in there like Flint. And she may not even like you. But the trap is she done gave up the body. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the other part was, do I agree with it? Who cares with what I agree with?
Facts.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
just,
That's life. Choices are choices.
and it's I mean, it's something that I want the ladies and I want the fellas because there's some guys who think that because they're doing the same uh, that they want this red carpet from this person. And the point is, whether this is just starting out, it's new, or it's just or it's a continued relationship. Things are earned over a period of time. Don't just expect them because you're doing this. Um, Sex comes dimes a dozen. For one, you can get that anytime, anywhere. You can even pay for it if that's what you want to do. Um, but the length of time in a relationship, you need to have conversations. You need to build that rapport. Are you trustworthy? Because I'm just not going to be giving a red carpet to somebody who don't respect me, somebody who don't care about me, somebody who don't have my best interest in mind. You know see what I'm saying? Um, and again, are you accountable? Are you responsible? Because if I brought the red carpet for you, at least I want you to be responsible with it. I don't want you to take advantage of it. I don't want you to hurt me or overstep your bounds. But a lot of people don't know bounds. They don't know boundaries. So again, that's something. This is a misnomer that definitely needs to be discussed prior to you taking the plunge.
Which plunge is that? The plunge in the plunge, or just a plunge in a relationship? Because let me tell you something. Everything you said, every now and then you put your foot in your mouth, boy. Let me just say something. All those things should be taught. You're right. Thought about before you take the plunge. You understand
Facts.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Before you start cleaning pipes, before you start messing with stuff. But you know what? After you take the plunge, it's too late. How many people really think about the consequences of sex? First off, whoever the person that slept with before you, you already transferring their spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second thing is when you take that plunge,
Consequences.
the consequences. They could snap on you. Look how many people had sex, tried to break it off, and then they got beat up and killed
Mm-hmm.
because they so possessed or obsessed with, okay, I've shared my body with you, and now what now? What you say? Some people would have sex with you and swear out, oh, I'm engaged.
Mm-hmm.
Some men would say, she was just like, let me just give him a little bit because I'm lonely and whatever, and going about her business. Before you know it, he walking by the house every other hour, calling her, stalking. All these things should be thought about before you even have sex. And so the misnomer for me, taking the plunge, boy, don't even try. Just come on there. And we didn't want to talk about Instagram fake pictures and photoshopping and y'all hugging and ain't even met. And Lord, child, this stuff is crazy. But my thing is,
Crazy.
it's crazy. And the misnomer is, don't think having sex is not going to come without consequences.
Comes with consequences. The next one I wanted to talk about this evening, Miss B, and you're going to hear a lot about this evening. About, do you believe it? Do you agree with it or not?
Okay, baby, I'm
So
ready.
that's the slogan tonight.
Aye.
Because you love and treat someone very well, you expect that that person should love and treat you the same. The reason why this is a misnomer, there's a high percentage of us who are lovers by nature, who are givers, uh, who have good intent and want the best for you. It's just that a lot of times we don't get it back. We pour in, and there's a hole in the bottom of the cup. It's sad, but Miss B, do you believe it? Do you agree with it or not? Should that be an expectation because you treat someone well that they should treat you well in return?
Thank you, Janelle, for dropping by. Janelle Harris, please look her up. She has a magazine, she has a show, she has a lot going on. She's very instrumental in my life right now. So, Janelle Harris, thank you so much
Good
for
evening,
stopping
Janelle.
by. Let me just say this, son. First off, hurt comes when you start expecting more from people than they're able or willing to give.
Talk.
Hurt comes when you start expecting more from people than they're able or willing to give. It has nothing to do with whether you have sex with them, it's any relationship at all. Because once you start expecting more from people, that's when the letdown comes. It's not because of what they did or did not do, it's what you expected from them.
Right.
So, since we're talking about having sex or relationships, you have no idea what people are expecting from you because what you have shown them has been misunderstood or misconceived as something more committed. And then they become hurt. And then hurt people. So
Mm-hmm.
because they're hurt and have expected more from you, then they're going to try to hurt you. And there comes the stalking and the hounding and all of that other stuff. So um, I'm going to say all three. I agree, I disagree. And what was the other one? Do I agree, disagree, or what?
Or not.
I agree, disagree, or not, because we are all responsible for our behavior. Our behavior includes actions and reactions, and they create consequences, and the consequences are not necessarily always pleasant. So, again,
Not
getting back
pleasant.
to that, when you, as a male or female, take on the decision to have sex, whether casual or you think it's long term, you have made a commitment. But to expect the same in return, know when to fold because it's not going to happen. Once you say, okay, this is me, this is them, can I accept what they're offering? And if it's not, you can't change them. It's time to move on. Even if you did, let them check the plumbing. Most people get hurt because they don't know when to fold or hold.
And add a little bit onto that, Miss B. I would tell you, I was like, I meant to bring a box of tissues because if you're this person, um, you're setting yourself up for a whole lot of hurt, pain, and disappointment. Um, my recommendation to that is just still be who you are, but stop expecting people to treat you in kind in return. Um, it's just not going to happen. Um, Sometimes it will, many times it won't. It's something that you have to accept. It's not that you're bad, not that you're being taken advantage of, and things of the nature. Sometimes you are, but um, it's just something that you have to become accustomed to You have to be who you are. You have to live with yourself. Um, I went through half my life, Miss B, hoping that people would love and treat me the way that I treated them. Um, one day it just hit me. I was in my 20s. It just hit me. Like, bruh, you know, be who you are, but only treat those well who deserve to be treated well. In a sense, like you're supposed to treat everybody well. I get that, but I'm gonna roll the red carpet out for those who deserve the red carpet. Makes sense. Um, Now, Miss B, in any new situation, right? Now, this is again regarding to this relationship thing. This is a new situation. You just meet somebody, or you may have known them for a couple of weeks, or talks on the phone, or you might have FaceTime, or whatever that may be, whatever they do nowadays. Um, and just because a man or woman spends 1 or 2 nights with you, um, means that you're a new item, or you're a new couple. Do you agree or not?
Sex does not make a couple. What it does is make a couple in bed for a minute, but it does not make a couple. And that's the sad thing about it. I want to piggyback on what you said. Um, I wasn't make Everybody tells me about my expressions, and I'm sorry about that, but I'm in total agreement of what you're saying. I'm just trying to shut my mouth until it's my turn. But I totally agree with treating everybody good, but there are different levels of good. I don't want to disrespect or mistreat anybody, but like you said, either I'm going to roll out the red carpet, or I'm just going to open the door, or maybe I'll just sweep the front door for you to walk through. But there are different levels of treating them with respect, and I agree with that. And so, with that part about, is it a couple just because you slept in the same or different beds 2 or 3 times in a row? No, it just means that you enjoy each other's sex.
Mm-hmm.
Couples make commitments on different levels. And if you're the type person who automatically assumes that you're a couple because of more than one sleeping together, then that's your choice, because you're headed for a heartache. If you're the man and you believe she loves you because she slept with you 3 times and done different things that other women haven't done, now all of a sudden you're paying her bills, she's got your car keys, and she's on your checking account, she's, all up in your business. And on the side, she never told you she was that committed. You just rolled out the red carpet without even seeing if she was even a nominee.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the women is concerned, the same thing. He may be doing different things for you that you've never had done financially, emotionally, physically. And you just think, oh my goodness, he just loves me. And so you start cooking for him, washing his clothes, running errands for him or whatever. And unfortunately, you're not the only one. You just rolled out the red carpet for him. Then when he said, baby, I never told you I was committed to you. I just enjoyed your company, and you wanted to do those things. I never asked you. So
Right.
then you got the butts. And so everybody's done butted their butt
Mm.
and got in trouble. And now when it's time for the butt to be taken away, everybody's in their feelings, feeling some kind of way. And that comes again, you know, we need to seriously stop responding with our emotions because they are set up. Physical attractions can fool you. And there you go, writing checks that you can't cash.
And Miss B, one of the things that I want some men and women to realize, um, whether you're stable or whether you're vulnerable, one of the things that you definitely should understand is just because someone makes themselves available for you doesn't mean that they're available for you.
Oh, say that again.
I said just because someone makes themselves available for you doesn't mean that they are available for you. It doesn't
Mm,
mean that you're an item. It doesn't mean that you're a couple. Um, and again, they just made themselves available to have access to you, and it made this they wanted to experience you, but that may be the full extent of what that relationship is, no
mm,
more, no less. So again, I brought this misnomer up because it's come up many times over the course of time that I've being here in VA, somebody met a nice woman, somebody met a nice girl, a beautiful woman met a guy, and he's nice and all this stuff, and things pop off, and she's thinking from A to Z, and he thinking from A to Z, and they looking to get into much more, and the other person's like, hold, 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 hold. I'm in a relationship, I'm married, I'm this, I'm that, or I don't, I don't want to be with you like that. So again, pump your brakes. Um, it's not really meaningful if you don't have that conversation. Got to know that up front first before you get into anything. Um, Ms. Vima, there are men and women out there who believe um, that makeup sex solves all the ills and problems in their relationships. Do you believe it? Do you agree with it or not?
Right now, I'm going to take a short break. We'll come back. Do I believe it, agree with it, or not?
Okay.
Hey, everybody, if this is your first time joining me, this is Miss B, Positively Miss B, CEO of Storm Talk 365 Radio and Storm Radio 24/7. You just saw a short clip of our Thursday episodes that comes on 7 p.m. East Coast time at the table with Miss B and friends. This Thursday, we'll be talking about who stole my cheese. If you're familiar with that, especially anybody in MLM or any type of marketing, that was one of the first books that you got. You got to study that. Think and
Who
Grow
stole my
Richer. Who stole
cheese?
my cheese? That's right. We're going to be talking about who stole your cheese Thursday, 7 p.m. East Coast time at the table with Miss B and friends. Thank you
I
so much.
love cheese, Miss B.
All right. Well, I don't know. Don't we mess with that cheese? We're going to talk about that cheese. Come on now. Before we went to a break, you had a question. Give me that question so I can make sure I got it right.
Now, there are men and women out there who believe that makeup sex solves all their issues and problems in their relationship. That's the misnomer. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because um, some people agree with it, some people believe it, and some people don't. I'm one of those individuals that uh, it does not solve all our relationship ills and our problems. Because if you don't work on your problem, your issues, you don't work on your relationship, you don't work on yourself, the same issues and problems are going to keep, it's going to be like a hamster wheel. It's going to keep going over and over and over and over again until either um, somebody gets it, somebody wakes up, you both wake up, or you just going to have you just going to have a bad relationship, period. So I did that misnomer is crazy, but I've been in a relationship with somebody who believed that um, buying somebody gifts, they thinking,
I remember that segment.
yeah, they think that they think gifts, money, and they think makeup, sex, this is the greatest thing ever. I hate it. To tell you the truth, I can't stand it. I don't think I ever will. I think that person traumatized me.
Absolutely. I'm serious. It's like, here she comes. But let me just say this. My answer to it is I'm going to get to you in a minute, Rashawn. My answer to that is sex is just a commercial. It doesn't solve anything. The program still goes on. In other words, whatever problems you had before you got in bed are going to be there when you get out. And half the time it's in bed with you and people are just faking it. They're not
Hmm.
smiling. They're just going through the motions like, get off me. Don't touch me. Is it over yet? It's just not. To be manipulative like that is very unsuccessful. And eventually it will hurt the sexual relationship as well as the relationship out of bed.
Oh
So
yeah.
I don't believe that. I think it's very immature and irresponsible to assume that sex is going to solve a relationship. The same way, unfortunately, we go to other substances to solve our emotional issues. I need a drink, I need a smoke, I need a hit, I need a woman, I need PlayStation. The problems are still there. You're just taking a commercial break. And until you get to the
Taking a
root of the
break.
problem, until you get to the root of the problem, nothing is going to help. So, no, I think it's very manipulative, irresponsible. Um, and actually childish to think, oh, I'm gonna get into bed and everything okay now, right?
Hmm.
You
And it
know,
ain't.
we just had nasty. That's it. Let me read you this question before we get started.
Okay.
Um, this is from Yashan. On that other question, I believe that so-called makeup sex is exactly what it is. You're making up and already have discussed the issue. Hopefully, all have. If you haven't put the work in it, it's not going to work. And I agree with that. Now, to me, if you've discussed it and you're in a better place before you have sex, you're not having sex. You're making love.
Hmm. Yeah, that's
If
different.
there's a difference. You're forgiving each other. You're showing each other passion when you moving on and you're smiling and hugging and you don't bring up the issue again. That's not makeup sex. Makeup sex is when the issues are not solved. You just think I'll take a commercial break and it'll be okay. No, you're not. So thank you so much, Rashada, for your input.
And just from my perspective, Miss B, when you have makeup sex and the issue is not resolved, those men and women are using sex as an excuse to get away with bad behavior without consequence. What do you think about that?
An excuse. Say
It's
it
an
again.
excuse. Men and women use sex as an excuse to get away with bad behavior without consequences.
Unfortunately, they think they're not going to have any consequences.
Hmm.
But in reality, they've created more consequences by thinking they can just involve sex in the situation. Because eventually, like I said, regardless of what the intent are, eventually that sexual relationship is going to suffer because it's going to make it no longer desirable. You're no longer satisfying your partner because their mind is on what you did, said, have done, haven't done. And, just going through the motions. I mean, dogs go through the motions. They'll rape their own son or daughter. They don't know no difference. So when
Hmm.
you lay down and there's no emotional connect, um, and so it's going to be even worse. So no, I
Oh,
don't agree with
worse.
that at all. Exactly. To manipulate people with your body is just not working.
So my next misnomer is um, now this has been floating around for centuries. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Do you believe it? Do you agree with it or not?
All three, all
Hmm.
three. You have to want to change. First of all, if you don't understand the why behind the what, you can't understand the who. If that person's a cheater, whether it's a male or female, there's a why behind that, and the why has to be faced by the person who's doing it. Why can I not be faithful? What is the problem with me? I really love that person, but yet I'm not satisfied unless I have more than somebody else. And then it just gets worse. The why behind the what will help you understand the who. Yes, anytime you cheat, you will continue to cheat until you get caught, and then you cheat again. The only way you can stop that is to make a character trait change. You, the person, has to want to change. Nobody else can change you. A new house, a new car, a diamond ring, promises, nothing a person can do is going to stop you from cheating because there's something inside you that desires to have more than one relationship, that has no um, I'm going to no hesitation in being unfaithful because maybe there's something in your life that hurt you. Could be your parents, could be anything, and you feel like I'm not going to be but trusting with somebody because they always hurt me. I'm gonna hurt them first. There's a lot of reasons why people do that. And again, I go back to hurt people hurt people. I'm not saying giving them a monopoly get out of jail card free, but for situations like that, it's deeper than it just they cheated on you. So let me just say this in my closing because I know got a lot more to cover. The person that you feel hurt you by cheating, has hurt themselves more. They have disrespected themselves more. And if you look at it from that way, it is not about you. There's nothing you can do to make somebody cheat on you. It's something in them that's not right. So if you have the power or the love, then sit back
Mhm.
and say, why are they doing that? I'm not saying spend the rest of your life enabling somebody, babysitting nobody. You got to know when to fold. But if you are interested enough, maybe they need therapy. I mean, it's just something, and I don't want to get spiritual, but from the intellectual point of view, if you have someone that's constantly cheating on you or you're the constant cheater, there's underlying circumstances there with trust.
Um, and again, I just believe that um, everybody doesn't stay in the same bucket all their life. Definitely, there has to be some healing going on, and it's something that you have to do yourself. You have to want to change. You have to have the discipline,
Absolutely.
understanding not to say, you know what, even if I hurt this person, I'm also hurting myself,
More.
hurting the relationship. And a lot of it comes with time, um, comes with maturity. Um, and I talk about this all the time. You have individual maturity as an individual, and you have relationship maturity. Um, and it takes time. It takes time. It takes growth, and the consequences are not worth it because you want to put yourself in a place where woulda, coulda, shoulda been I can't think of what that saying is right now. This be woulda, coulda, shoulda. It could have been this. We could have been that, and I never want to be in that space. I don't ever want to be in that space or wonder what could have been or what could have happened. When I had full control over it in the beginning, had I done right. Um, Now the last two that I have, and I know you're gonna laugh about this one. They said men with large hands or men with big feet are well endowed.
I'm sorry, y'all. Lordy child.
Do you
How old
believe
is
it? Do
this?
you agree with it or not?
My goodness gracious. Lord, let me see. Can I read another comment? Because, yeah, oh Lord, I can't even get off of it. Boy, what in the world? Misnomer. Okay. All right, you got me on it. Boy, I heard that a many a day. Oh, you forgot one. Now ain't always the hands and the feet. Sometimes them thumbs come to play too. Look at them thumbs. Lord, Lord, I never know what I'm gonna get from you. Okay, so hands, feet, and thumbs, right? They're endowed, right?
Yeah, I mean
Okay.
that was the word on the street.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let me tell you personally, not as a woman, but as a nurse, I've seen a whole lot of something somethings, and the feet and the thumbs and the hands. I don't necessarily the hands. Okay, I don't think so. But it's the fingers themselves. The fingers. Sometimes you can compare it. The fingers and You really the fingers and the feet. Seriously, but more so the fingers because it's a digit, and you can the crookedness, the straightness, the length, the width. Seriously, fingers have a lot to do with the correlation between the size of the endowment. It really does.
It was like I just didn't know. I just heard so many different things. Like my female friend is like, oh, he said he was this and 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 he wasn't. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? So I was just like that. This is a misnomer
No, it's not.
because
I just
and
cleared it up.
yeah,
No, you look at them thumbs first. You look at the thumb, and you look at the rest of the fingers. You got a pretty good idea what's gonna come out the package. When it come out the gate, don't be surprised. Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm. I done been in nursing for over 40 years. I done seen a whole lot of fingers and digits, and pay attention.
so Miss B, put the misnomer to rest this
I,
evening.
listen to me. I'm 64 years old. Been around a whole lot of men's in the hospitals and seen a whole lot of stuffs. You better listen. Pay attention to them digits.
And the last one for the night, Miss B.
Hold your hand up, Chris. Hold your hand up. Somebody want to see your thumb.
The last one for the night is that
Wait
women.
a minute. This your question. Where your thumb at? Hold your thumb, my boy. You gotta hold. Come on, now. Oh, look. Well, we still can see the rest of them fingers. Mm-hmm. We got a pretty good idea what you're working with. I teach you to ask me a question. Still ain't showing them thumbs, huh?
Mm-mm. But look,
Come on.
my thumbs is good.
We saw. That was a good fit. Yeah, I'm gonna have to freeze that frame. Yeah. Rashawn said, "Don't you put your hand up there, boy." That's all right. I'm gonna freeze the frame. I got you. Next, what else you got for me? You said it was one more.
My last misnomer for this evening, Miss B and viewers, is that women who have shapely or big posteriors have the best sex.
Last time I checked, penises go in vaginas and ain't got nothing to do with the side of the butt. Let me tell you, the size of the butt may have a dry, small vagina. You can't compare. Let me tell you something. You can't compare the size of it. Some of them got injections, and sometimes the butts get in the way of trying to find the entrance. Y'all better understand. But then again, if you're a butt person, you ain't even got to make an entrance to be excited. You can just be all over the butt and be happy. It just depends. I'm just saying, as far as a nurse is concerned, the last time I checked, it's the vagina itself that provides the satisfaction. And the size of the butt has nothing to do with the function of the vagina. I'm just saying.
It definitely does. And, just from my experience, many different, you can't, you don't know necessarily what you're getting until you get it. You know, there are some women who are deep, some women who are short, you know, some women have angles, and some women are dry, some women are wet. I mean, it's just, so, I mean, you really don't know what you're going to get. And sometimes
that's why I said they better keep looking at that thumb. Look at that crooked thumb. Okay. Oh, man. That's the end of this episode. Karen said, what in the world is the topic for today? She trying to figure it out because so far she done caught the tail end and we just talking about vaginas and penises. Oh, Lord.
Karen, today's topic, we were talking about the misnomers in relationships, part 2. Basically, when dating, it could be misnomers. Let's say, like, just as an example, one of the ones that I had earlier that I used earlier is I can't even think of my misnomers right now. I think we went through so many of them.
I know where your mind at. Is it crooked? Is it dry?
It's just misnomers in relationships. Like, just as an example, the person who makes the money in the house and takes care of the house can take care of the house, but do what they want to do. They can run around, they can cheat, they can do whatever, as long as she's taking care of home. That's also a misnomer that was, that is believed by some people. But they found out sooner or later that that's not true. You're going to keep playing that card. and somebody will throw them cards away. So, you definitely don't want to do that one. But again, yeah, I mean, misnomers are real. Um, and until you experience some of these things, you don't even think about it half the time. But it's just something that I wanted to bring to our attention because it can become a problem in our relationships. Uh, I can't stop laughing. So, with that being said, Ms. B, did you have any final thoughts, or would you like to offer an encouraging word for the listeners this evening?
Yeah,
I'm
I got a
trying.
lot to say, but I'm not gonna mess with the fingers no more. I promise. All right, everybody. Seriously though, he had a good topic, and he saved the best for the end. And I never. We don't rehearse this. Um. Wow, shaking a lot of females' hands. Okay. Um. We don't rehearse this. We really don't. The answers, and when he asks me, a lot of times I be like caught off guard. You want me to do what now? So that being said, my closing statement is this: relationships are a choice, and what you expect from them is a choice. And once you start expecting more than others are able or willing to give, or once you aren't able to willfully and give what they expect from you, there is no relationship. You're just having sex, and you're headed for a disaster if you don't talk about these things, especially before you even have sex. If we got into a relationship, what would you expect? How hard is that to say? If we decided to go forth with this relationship, what are you expecting? What are you willing to give? you know that's very easy while you're sitting at the bar with the drink, while you're sitting anywhere. You really need to find this stuff out, because that's why so many relationships do not work. And they can say, well, baby, I'm attracted to you, but I'm not expecting this to go any farther. Then you decide if you want to drop and roll. That's up to you. But get the answers to the questions before you drop and roll. And then once you make that drop and roll, you want some type of commitment. It's not going to happen. But, that's just my opinion. I'm only Miss B, positively Miss B, but that's my advice.
So with that being said, if you would like, if you like the issues of men, if you like Storm Talk Radio 365, and you want to see a continued growth,
I'm going to tell your wife. Where's she at? You volunteer to shake folks' hands. What in the world? That's a test drive, What
it's
is
it's
this?
a it's a joke.
You gonna be the joke. I'm telling. Wait till we get on. Can I shake your hand in person? I'm telling. You want somebody to test drive? Oh. All right, everybody. I ain't even give him a chance. I done said my closing words. I done said enough because I can't stop laughing. This Miss B, positive Miss B. You can catch Issues of Men here next Wednesday with a new topic. What's the topic, Chris?
Next week's topic, Miss B, we are going to be talking about getting into someone else's business. We can be talking about getting into someone else's business. I'm gonna add some scriptures, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and so you'll be able to get the understanding of why you should not be getting into somebody else's business.
These comments are hilarious. Karen. Hey, Shannon. Oh my goodness. All right, everybody. I don't even know what next week's topic is. Wait till I put the flyer up and you'll see, because this is hilarious. But I want to thank all of you for joining us and giving us the feedback. I really appreciate it. Look up Shannon Mason, Karen KJ Johnson. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give a shameless plug. Starting, what day is it? The 5th, Monday the 5th. Karen KJ Johnson, brand specialist strategist, is coming to Storm Radio 24/7 with a Monday night weekly podcast on branding, 7 p.m. East Coast time, Storm Radio 24/7. She's been in the business for over 25 years, and she has a lot to share. If you need to know how to represent yourself, and Lord knows she's just like staring at me every day. Can you imagine having a brand specialist as a friend and coming on your network? I, I, I can't make no mistakes. All I got to do is close my eyes and I see her. That ain't right, Miss B. So
right.
that being said, join us every Monday at 7 p.m. East Coast time, Storm Radio 24/7. Look for the flyers. The countdown is coming. KJ Johnson, she's coming as a brand specialist with a Monday night podcast to help us to walk right as a business person. Shannon Mason in sports, please befriend her. She has
Okay.
Shannon, put your information about your podcast. She's coming on with the interview as well. We got a lot going on Storm Talk 365 and Storm Radio 24/7. I'm still tickled. With that being said, you can hear us at www.stormtalk365radio.com, where we help you to talk to the storms in your life, as well as Storm Radio 24/7, where we talk about arts, business, entertainment, and more. Thank you all so much, Chris. I'm just going to have to go because these comments are just. Shannon, I love seeing you on tonight. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Bye bye.
You have a good night. See you next week, 7 p.m. Issues with Men.
Yeah, but no more fingers. I just. All right, everybody. Bye bye.